Hi everyone, it's ESConflab, and now we have DMGP contestant Sander Sanchez, who also actually was runner-up in 2020. Hi,
Hello, everybody. So nice to see you. Nice to see you again.
thank you. It's my pleasure. How are you, Sander?
I'm actually doing really great. These past days and this past week has been insane, as you might probably could imagine. But also with I'm going on a school called Danish Songwriting Academy, so we just do music all the time, and yeah, so life is lifing, but it feels amazing.
Sander, let's actually go back in 2020 when you started your debut with Screens.
Looking at the bright lights fitting us a dream. Staring at the screens, staring at the screens, staring at the screens.
And now you are with Two Spirits. First time you said DR actually invited you, and this time you applied. So tell us about like how all it happened.
Yeah, so it was a little of a random thing that happened the last time. I just kind of got thrown into it. And I didn't have a team. I didn't have a manager, agent, stylist, so many people. I just had one friend with me on the day. So coming in second was a little, of course I worked to get there, but it was a little of a random situation that happened. But this time around, I just kind of wanted to, after I did the 2020 show, I who I am as a performer is an explosive, dynamic, just like a ping pong ball, jumping everywhere, doing twirls, doing all that. That's how I do my shows. So I guess kind of I had this kind of idea and dream that I wanted to come back and do it Sander 2.0 style with the team, with everything that I didn't have the last time, but also with a song that I could really see myself, immerse myself with the power that I kind of have when I perform. Um, so yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come back to kind of showcase, who I actually am as a performer, showcase who I am as a person and the story that I have to tell, and also just to have the real experience because, as you know, the last time, the day before the actual show, that was then when people were told they couldn't come in and see the show. So we did it in Royal Arena, which is one of the biggest places in Denmark, without an audience. So even though I've done it before, I kind of felt a little robbed from the actual real experience. So I guess I just wanted to come back and try that out. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And actually, back 2020, you were only 23. And if we are going back on time, what advice you would say to your younger self?
Yeah, wow. It feels like a blip, but 6 years is actually a lot of years. You know what I mean? So it kind of it's funny to think about. But I would tell myself that you're the boss. You're the one who decides what to do and what you want to do. Of course, respect what people have put in, or what the work they've put into the choreography and what to do and where to stand and all that. But I was just so focused on doing the right thing, with the people that kind of that I worked with, um, that I kind of maybe limited myself a little bit. Um, well, not vocally. Nobody told me what to do, with my singing, so I just did whatever I wanted to, which I guess was kind of maybe what gave it what it needed to have to get to the super finals. Um, but in reality, I guess would I have done screens this day, I would have kept in mind everything that I was supposed to do, but still just done whatever I wanted to do and give myself the liberality and give myself just the freedom to immerse myself into the, the song and the expression. So my advice would be follow your gut, do what you want to do. You're the boss, but have respect for people's work at the same time. Yeah. And I would give myself a bottle of glitter.
And actually, after your success in DMGP, you also released a lot of songs, including Soldier, My Roots. Can you also tell about those songs? Actually, how you grow yourself through those years till now?
Yeah, that's the thing because Screams was actually the first song I ever released on major platforms. I've been re I've been like performing ever since I can remember and singing every day of my life, you know what I mean? So I was like kind of that artist where I had all my experience in live music and I haven't really gotten at that time that much experience recording actual masters. Um Demos, sure. But hearing yourself in that context, you just learn so much, and actually putting what you make in a studio out into your performance just also gives you experience with how to portray emotions and how to play around with the melodies and how to improvise yourself in the atmosphere of the song you've created. So I've learned so much these past years. I feel like the number one thing, I love screens, but I would never do it that way this day because my vibrato, for example, is like very you're not gonna like I can control the waves, but at that time I didn't have that in me the same way, or I didn't realize these things. So I cringe a little bit, but it's still such an iconic staple in my life, and I love the song. So yeah, I guess I've learned lots vocally, but I've also like learned a humongous amount of experience through my live shows, which is like basically yeah, that's what I've done these past 6 years. I've just played everywhere and just had fun in the studios and yeah, just immersing myself into what it is to be an artist here in the Danish music industry and yeah, tried a lot of things out and now I'm back. So
Amazing, amazing. And Sander, it was the only song I think that you haven't written by
Mhm.
yourself. So how is the process? Can you also tell us about like songwriting? Like what inspires you to write
Yeah, that is
songs?
the funny thing because Screens was the first song I ever released, but it's also the first and only song I've ever released that I haven't written myself. Because like I'm a talented singer, sure, but I actually feel more of a poet, and it's the way I love to paint with words and to create, these delusional atmospheres and spacey, nymphal, holographic energy and put it into meaningful emotions that everybody can relate to. Um, and yeah, I guess I've just really kind of maybe found my own style more and more. Um, I love to sing about duality, yin yang perspectives, and give it a twist of hope and just like a power to make it through whatever you need to make it through. So it's like very hopeful music, but it's also with a touch of natural phenomena and spacey, ethereal, shimmery kind of, world building. So yeah, yeah, I feel like I've really come into my own with my songwriting.
That's I actually love about your songs because as you said, there it's like spacey, like a little bit like I also have like 80s vibe as well as electronic dance music. So all of them is like super kind of like making it like you want like people want to jump to your music, you
Mm.
know? It's so
80s
nice.
is definitely a big inspiration for my music. There's just something about that era. You know what I mean? But also
Hmm.
electronic music as well. I love to find that kind of balance in between, the raw, underground, gritty, and distorted kind of elements in electronic music and mixing it with, the very emotional and fragile, and beautiful kind of lyrics and melodies, where those two worlds meet. I feel like it's just a magical place. So that's kind of also where I'm trying to immerse myself a little bit into.
And then in 2024, you also released an EP.
I did.
Can you also tell us about Upon
Mhm.
Love? And are you planning actually to release an album then?
I am planning to release an album, and I've been saying this for such a long time, you know what I mean? Now it's getting more and more real because now I'm going on this school, Danish Songwriting Academy. It's not just, doing a song here and there. You do a million songs, and yeah, I can definitely see myself releasing a lot of them. Um, but of course, that's not what it's about going here. Of course, you have your artistic projects, but of course, it's about other things too. But I have a list of songs that I want to release into an album. Yeah, but I guess life is just always, twists and turns, and starting on this school kind of like put a little pause on my live performances. I had some live shows in the beginning of my year, but I just quickly found out that if I'm gonna do Dansk Melodi Grand Prix and if I'm gonna do uh live shows and this school at the same time, it would just be impossible. So I kind of like had to
Mhm.
put some things on hold. At the moment, it's like when I win and when I'm done with Eurovision, then definitely I'm gonna be putting out the album of everybody's imagination. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna turn out. So yeah.
Also in 2023, you released the only Danish language song. I will try to pronounce Gilla Ik
Yeah,
Die Shit.
exactly. It's such a fun song. Well, so the funny thing is, it was Freddie Q, one of my good friends. He's a rapper. He wanted to do, this girl group number. And I kind of like have this little thing in my brain where I have a bucket list. I want to like tick everything off. So doing a girl group number was definitely one of them. So when he asked me, I was just like, you know what? Let's turn it out. I'm ready to just do a little queer uh girl group number thing. And yeah, so in reality, it was just like a fun project we just did for the giggles of it. But it turned out really, really cool, and a lot of people love it. So yeah, and we have a little choreography when we perform it and all that. So I guess that is a very like it's a manifestation of just having fun with music. You know what I mean? Instead of it having to be so serious. But of course, putting your artistry into it and meaning, and really making sure that you deliver. But definitely one of those like that song really reminds me of just the fun of creating music with your friends and putting it out into the world and going out and performing it and all that. Yeah.
In that regard, are you planning also to release Danish language songs? Since if we see like you have mainly like English songs, right?
Yeah, that is the question of the year. Because in the Danish industry right now, it's like everybody is switching over to Danish to be able to have a shot of making it. Um, I guess I'm not considering it because it's not me. Well, it could be, it can be. I do all music to be honest, so probably there will be some Danish things, but it will not be it would be probably a collaboration with somebody or, somebody asking me to feature. Um, I wouldn't, or maybe just like maybe an homage to the Danish language. If I'm doing an album, for example, maybe I'll put in a Danish song to make sure that I kind of like um make homage to the Danish language and to Denmark. Um, but it would not be. I would never switch into Danish to find success. My poetry lies in English. Yeah, but I'm doing a lot of Danish songs out here. Probably half of the songs I've done out here in this school where I am right now. We have our own studio and everything. So like half of them are Danish songs. So I love to try that out and to write in Danish and definitely I'll be writing a million Danish songs for other people. Yeah.
And if you have to collaborate with someone, who will it be?
Oh, like a Danish person.
Yes.
Danish person that I would collaborate with. I guess, somebody who is a staple where I could do something really unique. Um, I would love to like maybe Sanne Salomonsen. She's like the rock mama of Denmark. Um, if it's somebody more like modern in like the more modern atmosphere, it's a hard question. There are many good ones. So yeah. Peel. Peel. I would love to collaborate with Peel. There you go.
Okay. If they listen, perhaps they will offer you a song so you can
That
sing
that
together.
would be cool. I'm down. Hit me up.
Then, Sander, let's move actually to your DMGP song this year, Two Spirits. You have actually a strong team with Lisa.
Couple, yeah, yeah.
So, how this collaboration
Yeah,
started?
so it's also Markus Wintergen who actually won last year with Cicel. And then a guy who's also he's an alumni from this school called Rasmus Rex. And then it's mastered or it's mixed by Joy Depp, who's also an iconic Eurovision staple. So the team is a banger team, and the collaboration has just been fun. I guess I started doing this collaboration at the same time where I started on this school, and it kind of warmed me up to what we do every day is we sit together in sessions and we co-write and we write songs and we have a producer, always a producer on each group and we just create. So I guess going into that, um, into that room, um, every time we went there and every time we had a session, it just felt so natural, like I'm just doing it in Copenhagen instead of here. So it kind of like felt like it was meant to be. Um, Marcus is also one of my teachers out here on the school, so we kind of like we had our own little secret, because we felt like if people knew that we knew each other, probably maybe they will smell the tea. So we kind of like pretended like we didn't know each other, which was kind of fun. But no, it was just fun, I guess, for me walking into that room. Um, I forget about who we are. We're just working, you know what I mean? We just have fun. We use our brains. We go into that state of mind. So even though Elise and Markus are iconic songwriters in the Danish music industry, I kind of forgot it. And then when I went out the room on my way home, I was like, damn, I just I just sat with two legends and did this, But in reality, every time I went into to work, like those thoughts kind of just like were left on the shelf, and we just hit it and created together. So yeah, I loved our collaboration.
It's actually a very beautiful song, but when it comes to the message, what you would like to convey to your listeners?
Yeah, so the message is I wanted to create a song that would leave you with the feeling of power to be who you are and to shine your true colors and to find that strength to just be. But finding the strength to be who you are with others and amongst others in unity. The message a is a also actually an homage to my culture as Native American. I have my family is from South Dakota, and then I'm half Danish. So I'm Oglala Lakota Sioux, and I wanted to go balls to the walls. If this was potentially my biggest chance in life, I wanted to make sure that I just used every aspect of what I am and what I do and who I've become and put it into this message. So I wanted to pay homage to my culture, the four elements and Mother Earth. I'm singing, for an example, I want to paint the wind when I light a fire, want to feel the rain on a mountain high. Um, I kind of wanted to pay that homage to Mother Earth and all the four elements, but give it a twist of liberation. And I'm singing in the breakdown, electronic breakdown. Um, I wanted to have that peace because I wanted to, when we have established that message of having no shame and just being and following the rhythm of your own drum, I kind of wanted to have that moment where we could just immerse ourselves in that energy and just like, just go into that trance. Um, and then I'm singing Hookah Hey, which means let's go in Lakota. So I'm
Mhm.
also very proud that I actually got to put in Lakota into my song. And yeah, I guess there are those native meanings. It's also queer coded a little bit. It's a universal message, but to be two-spirited in my culture is to be queer or winkte, as you say in Lakota. So it's also an homage to the queer community, but it's of course about having duality in you, coming having two aspects
Mhm.
of yourself you can immerse into one thing and find the strength and power to explode. Um, yeah. So that's kind of like the message. Having no shame, following the rhythm of your own drum, and just being able to shine and explode who you are.
Actually, it's such a strong message, as you said, like you are bringing all your culture to this music and appreciate it. It's very
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Then Sander, I don't know how much you can talk about the staging. Perhaps you can give some hints, like what to expect.
Yeah, well, there's gonna be a little something something that ties my old show to my new show. So yeah, and the drum is gonna be a very essential item, because the drum is also a very um is a very essential and important item in my culture. So of course the drum we just had to put in there. Also because the song is all about that drum, you know what I mean? Yeah. Then you can expect heartfelt emotions. You can expect
Mhm.
you can expect explosive dynamic energy and stage presence. And yeah, you can expect a journey with
Mhm.
native twists. Yeah.
And are you gonna be alone or there will be people around you?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let me just say that I'm not the only person that's gonna be on stage. Keep people guessing a little bit, you know what I mean? So but yeah, definitely it's gonna be a wild show. It's gonna be dynamic. It's gonna have it's gonna have development and yeah, it's gonna have power. So yeah.
And when we look at your performances, generally, like you look very fashion person. So where is the love to fashion
I
comes?
love editorial fashion and haute couture. Not that I'm proclaiming that I am a fashion icon. That is not what I'm saying. But I still use Tumblr and I repost every time I see an amazing haute couture moment or an editorial fashion statement. And I love to make mood boards every time I do a release or if I'm doing a song or a collaboration or something. And definitely just fashion is a big part of that. So I wanted to also make sure that I was really creating something from scratch. Um, that I was doing not just something we just buy and put together and we style and we maybe tailor a little bit like I did the last time. No, no, this time around I wanted to make sure that we created something from scratch, um, that could be an iconic fashion moment. And I have no idea if that's how it's gonna turn out, but fingers crossed. Yeah, I've done a fitting, but I haven't actually seen the full thing yet. I can't tell you. I can't promise anything. But what we've like the vision is so cool, and it's so me, and it's just gonna be yeah, it's gonna have like that kind of native twist a little bit with a little holographic something maybe. Um, yeah,
Mhm.
without spoiling too much. Okay, I can't spoil anymore.
I'm sure it will be amazing since I love, as I said, like your fashion and everything. Then Sander, actually, what it would mean for you to win whole competition and represent Denmark in 70th anniversary at Vienna?
It would mean like it would actually mean a lot in a way. It would mean that it was my destiny coming in second the last time because had I won that year, then I would have to live with winning and not participating in Eurovision because it was canceled that year. So maybe it would mean that maybe there's something to it. But either way, it would also kind of like mean that I get to push out this message of my culture, which I feel like the world kind of like should listen to a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like my background and my culture just has a lot of wisdom and a lot of tools to give. Um, I am extremely honored, grateful, thankful, and I'm very I know what it has given me, um, what kind of tools it has given me in my tool belt to live in this crazy world, in this modern society, in this, yeah, also in Scandinavia, living here with those kind of cultural things and wisdoms and that background is really it's a gift in itself. And I've been a little bit afraid of like using that in my music because I didn't want my culture to be what gave me value as an artist. I wanted it to be my talent and my style, my songwriting and everything. Of course, I've done some songs like you said, My Roots and Mother Earth. Um, but now I'm just ready to face the fact that I am Native American and I am, a person living here in Europe, in Scandinavia, and Denmark, having it gives me a position of something to say that I shouldn't be afraid of perceiving. And yeah, so winning would also mean that I kind of like I get to bring forth those wisdoms into a global audience. And I feel like the world could really need that right now. All of a sudden, without me having it was not supposed to be that way, but I find these ties to what happens like geopolitically. You know what I mean? It like yeah, and with America and everything that's happening. Um, yeah, so I guess I just kind of felt like it would feel like that we could highlight some things that we need to like face as a unity in this world. In my culture, you say "Mitakuye Yasin" instead of saying "Amen," which means we're all related to all like we're all one to all my relatives, you know. So yeah, I guess that's also kind of a message I wanted to bring out there and just like gratitude and how to live in this world having respect for nature and feeling like you can be immersed in the energy around you and with everything around you too. So yeah, I guess it would kind of like mean that I get to express um and give my culture what it deserves and maybe touch people with that. Yeah.
Is it putting you pressure? For example, Cecil is coming back this year, right?
Yes, definitely a little bit of a pressure there. Also because I've seen how much the fan culture loves her. You know what I mean? Every time I turn on TikTok and everything, it's also a really, really cool song. So I get it. But of course it's intimidating to see somebody so popular um, blow up like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna do me and then yeah, everything will work out how they're supposed to. And then we'll take it from there. So
Actually, if not you, who do you think deserves to be the candidate for Denmark?
yeah, so it's actually not that hard. I guess Sun's song is just a masterpiece of songwriting, and the production is so banger, and the delivery of that, and yeah, so Sun's song, Fabiga, yeah, definitely would be my candidate, if not my own. So yeah.
Then, do you have any message for your fans or potentially new followers?
Yeah. Uh, First and foremost, thank you so much for following my journey and to listening to Two Spirits and whatever songs I've put out there that you might have listened to. It means the world. And yeah, keep showing the children how it's done and do you, be proud, shine your colors. Yeah. So, and I just wanted to give you all a big kiss, kiss, kiss.
And as a last part, may I ask you to sing a little bit of your song?
Yeah, of course. Okay, okay, let's go. I used to be a ghost. I hid inside the smoke. When dancing in the spotlight of a ritual, learning to be my own individual. I'm gonna paint the wind, gonna light a fire, gonna feel the rain on a mountain high. I've got no shame to face my demons, shame to show my love. Something like that, I don't know. Yeah.
Amazing. So thank you very much, Sander. I'm really happy that I talked to you.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for listening out there. And yeah, I can't wait to see you in Vienna.